Hi guys, it's your boy the Melanin King and this is Life Unfiltered Podcast. If it is your first time to be here, I'm telling you, karibu sana. Don't press that dial. Don't you dare press that dial. I want you to watch this video today all the way to the end because the things I'm going to talk about today are some of those things that are affecting you, affecting me, affecting your sister, affecting your brother, and so on and so forth. So today we are talking about red flags in a relationship, and I'm going to be very precise. I'm talking about my personal red flags, things that I see in a relationship and I run. You know what? Zile zenye najiambianga Murife, you have to run. Yeah, basically those are some of the things I'm going to be talking about today. Yeah, red flags in a relationship. You know, most of you look at this or see these red flags but tend to assume or look at them as purple, as pink, as greenish. You try to convince yourself that these are actually not red flags. Perhaps they are things that I'm overthinking, I'm doing what, until you find yourself in a space where now your relationship has become toxic and you have even lost yourself. One thing I usually say about relationships, if you ever find yourself in a space where you have lost yourself, you no longer feel that you even think about yourself, you're constantly thinking about pleasing other people, you're constantly thinking about making other people happy, that is the minute you need to walk out of that relationship. So there are certain things I don't compromise. Whenever I see them, I run away. Personally, I run away. I murife very fast. And let me tell you something. Relationships are here to stay, and relationships are here with us. Though we want to act gangster and all that stuff, one thing for sure is we all crave companionship at some point. And even though we crave for companionship, we should not overlook certain things. And just because we want to be with people, we are not supposed to overlook certain things. Remember, you're supposed to also love yourself enough to live in as much as you want to be around people or you want to feel love from people. So me kuna vitu nimeamua mimi, I am not compromising. And this is based off experience. I've been in relationships before. I started seriously dating at the age of 19. Yes, I had previous relationships in high school. A big shout out to the people I dated back in high school. Amazing, because they gave me lessons. They taught me some few lessons here and there, and I enjoyed while it lasted. But I seriously, oh my God, I seriously started dating when I turned 19. And let me tell you, I've had my fair share of relationships. And that's why most of my conversations online, especially on TikTok, when you go through my conversations, they're usually on relationships, because honestly, I'm just airing what I've experienced as a person, and I'm a relationship person. I'm a sucker for love. So one of the things I consider a red flag in a relationship is lack of communication. When I'm talking about lack of communication, I'm basically talking about somebody who is not able to communicate with me, or they're being dismissive anytime I try to tell them something. Anytime I'm trying to engage with them, they sound like they're not interested in whatever I'm trying to tell them. Or and initially maybe when we were starting the relationship, they had the vibe, they had the energy, we were communicating, we were talking throughout the time. You'd wake up, talk to me, get to know what I'm doing, update me on everything you're doing. But now all of a sudden, you are not communicating. You're not letting me know what you're doing, what you're up to, and stuff like that. So, and then I'm usually very keen to observe certain changes. If somebody makes certain changes in a relationship in terms of communication, come on, update. Please keep doing that. I know people usually get a bit comfortable and now they don't keep letting you know because they assume you know their schedule. But it should never get to that level. The minute I feel like it gets to that level, it's about that time that you need to pack your bags and leave. So lack of communication for me is a red flag. If you can't communicate, then you can't be with me. It's clear like that. If you can't communicate, you just can't be with me. I don't know what you feel about that. Or am I just being too much? Am I being too much? Okay, so that's one of the things. So lack of communication. The second thing, controlling behavior. And here I can even write a whole book about this, because I've dated someone who was such a controller. You want to control how I eat. You want to control what I do, especially hapo kwanza what I eat. I'm very serious about this, by the way. It looks like a joke, but I'm very, very serious about it. So I've dated somebody who monitored or checked out what I was eating and how I dressed up. There was a time I once said I was meeting up with them, and the comment they made about how I dressed up, because they basically wanted, they have a way they wanted me to look like. When I start dating you, I'm actually seeing you're supposed to love me for who I am. Don't try and change me into what I'm not, because that means basically I'm not what you're looking for. So you're trying to change me into what you really want. And if that's going to be the case, then don't be with me. So if you have this behavior where you want to control everything I do and change me into something new, then I don't think I'm going to be with you. And I usually sense that from very far. I know, again, let me say something else. There's a difference between you trying to make me be better and then you trying to change me completely into something I'm not completely. If you're going to walk into my life and be like, oh, I see you're shooting a podcast. I think probably if you added this and that, it would make your podcast be better. I think I would take that, because that is somebody who's actually wishing me well and wants the best for me. But if you're going to be like, oh, babe, I know you're doing podcasts, but I don't like it. How about you quit that and do this other thing? Okay, I know probably you've seen potential for me to do other things, but you should also understand that this is what I also love. So if you cannot fuck with me being on a podcast or shooting a podcast, then that means I'm not the guy for you. So this person tried really hard to change how I dress, to change how I eat, to change even the kind of people I associate myself with. And honestly, that is a red flag for me. If I sense that, you're completely out of my life. I'm not about to keep somebody who will keep on controlling what I am doing as a person. So that one is a no. The other thing is dishonesty, and most of you lie a lot. When it comes to lies, you people lie a lot. And I sense that also from very far. Again, it is based off experience. The minute I realize that you're never honest about anything, all the things you keep telling me is you constantly keep on lying. And people you date usually tell you, oh, I lied because I didn't want to make you upset. Oh, I lied because I didn't want to, paint you what picture in your mind, blah, 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 stuff like that. Honestly speaking, if you're going to be that person who constantly keeps lying, that's a red flag for me. And lies don't have to be those big lies. Even the tiniest or the smallest lies, what you consider to be the smallest lies, to me are a red flag. Because if you can lie about little things, small stuff, it means even the biggest things, you will lie about them. And that says a lot about you as a person. I don't think I would even trust you, even when it comes to finances. I think that would be a red flag for me. And I sense lies from far. Somebody who's lying, oh my God, I sense lies from very, very, very far. So if you ever want to be with me and you want to lie, just be sure I'll be able to detect that and we cannot be together. And then, so there's something here saying gaslighting, making you doubt your memory or perception of events. Oh yeah, there's this part. Actually, yeah. Making you doubt your memory or perception of events. I've had somebody who has made me look like a fool before, and they made me think that I'm actually the one lying, or rather, I don't know what I am saying. When you date somebody who makes you feel like you're a mad person. Yeah, I've had that person in my life. And once I also detect that, I run away from you very, very, very fast. This year, among the things I'm also learning is detachment. And we'll have a whole discussion around that. The law of detachment, or rather how to learn the skill of detachment. Because we need to do that with friendships, with relationships, with family. We need to figure a way out on how we can be able to detach ourselves from certain people who especially are dishonest. Another red flag for me, I would consider jealousy and possessiveness. People usually think that jealousy is just from people who are observing you do your thing, or is from friends who don't want to see you do better. I have seen couples who one of them is actually jealous of the other. Yeah, una date mse, na umse mwenye una date manze. They claim they're actually wishing you well, they want you to do well. But deep down, some of them are actually jealous of you. They want them to be the one being better in the relationship and not you. The minute you start doing better, they become jealous of you. And I've dated such. I won't even lie. I've actually dated such. And also again, nikidetect hiyo pia, I usually run away. And this is how it comes, or this is how you can be able to tell that somebody is actually jealous of you and you're dating them. When you constantly keep telling them the things you want to do or the things you're attaining, and they just have something negative to say about it. You know, babe, I wouldn't want you to do that. Oh, think about it. Oh, the way you're doing it is selfish and you're only thinking about yourself. One thing you also need to remember is before I met you, I had a plan, I had a vision, I had a dream, and I'm living to that dream. And not every dream I have to tag you along, because some are personal. I have my own personal relationship and personal goals that I want to achieve, and that has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you, and that does not mean I don't love you. So anytime I mention them to you, you come off like you want to make me feel guilty for doing certain things, you know. There's I don't know if I should say this or somebody anyway, let me not say that. So something else also is here. It says extreme jealousy or distrust without cause, yeah, making you feel guilty for having friends or interests outside the relationship. Making you feel guilty for having friends or interests outside the relationship. Like I've said, when somebody constantly makes you feel like, you know, you're not making them a part of whatever you're doing, and sometimes whatever you're doing or the goals you're trying to achieve are purely personal. Like I said, there are certain goals or certain things you want to achieve in life that are usually naturally, not even naturally, are things that you had set for yourself before you got engaged, before you got married. Kuna zile vitu ni personal goals na kuna zile zenye ni the relationship, like you people should do as a couple. So I feel like if somebody shows that line or that aspect of jealousy, then definitely I'm not in there. And then another very serious trait that goes along with jealousy is possessiveness. People need to know that you can never own a person. You are not property. Nobody can own you. You cannot own a person. No one is property. So if somebody shows the aspect of trying to own you, that person is toxic. You need to move away from them. I think I would run away very quick, very fast if somebody showed that they own me, because the minute somebody owns you, they will control you. And remember, a few minutes ago I've actually mentioned that when somebody has a controlling behavior, that's already a red flag for you to walk out of that relationship. So if somebody is overly possessive, they want to own you, then it's about time you leave. It's that time that you cannot keep up with such kind of a relationship. Another one is disrespect, which is something we also see a lot. You know, I was having a conversation with Karanja earlier today, and I was telling him among the things that people don't know about me is sometimes comments usually get into me, and you'd never know sometimes to what extent you've hurt me, and that usually comes as disrespect. And this I'm even talking about coming from somebody I'm trying to see, a partner I'm trying to be with, somebody I'm trying to date. If you're going to make me, mock me, belittle me, or dismiss my opinions or feelings, I will certainly feel disrespected. And that usually makes me step back a bit. Like, nachukwanga a few steps back from that relationship. If I was really invested and I was really in love, and you constantly keep mocking me, belittling me, or dismissing my opinions, definitely I consider that to be disrespect. And I've experienced that. And let me give you an example. You know, there are things I'm okay with saying myself, but you are not allowed to say them. Okay? Let it be known to each one of you that there are certain things it is very okay for me to say and not for you to say. If I decide to say that niko na masikio kubwa, I'm the only one allowed to say niko na masikio kubwa. You are not allowed to talk about my ears. If I talk about my skin, I say I'm dark, I'm melanin and all that stuff, I'm the only one allowed to do that because this is my skin. You are not allowed to use that as comedy to throw humor or shade or whatever and just think that that's gonna slide just because I'm your partner. No, for me, that's disrespectful. Because again, you don't even know if I've healed with whatever I am going through or with whatever I have that's making me even use it for myself to like make me feel better. And now you want to use it. And usually how you take it out on me is from a point of mocking. I consider that to be disrespectful, and I don't think I would date somebody with such similar traits or somebody who has such traits. So mocking me, belittling me, or dismissing me, my opinions or my feelings, how I feel, I consider that to be disrespectful. Alafu kuna hii kitu ingine ya ati mtu anakuambia saa umejam, saa hiyo ni kitu ya kufanya ujam. Yeah, nimejam. Like, how do you make certain comments and expect me to laugh? I'm with your friends, and then you know very well I'm dark, yeah? And the world is already harsh to people who are dark. And now I'm amongst your friends, I'm with your people, and the whole time you keep talking about me being black, me being dark, me being dark. You know, the whole conversation is just about me being dark. And you're there and you're trying to make your friends laugh because of that fact. Your friends are not making the same joke, but you're making the same joke. Honestly speaking, that wouldn't sit well with me. And yeah, I might just call it because, yo. And then another thing is, if you speak to me in a condescending or in a harsh tone, definitely that will not work with me. Because that, again, I'll consider it to be disrespect. But ile sana sana yenye mi na feelingi tu ni disrespect for me mostly is if you mock me, if you ever mock me or belittle me. Kwanza hapo kwa belittle me, ay hapana. That one can never, we can't even date. I will run. The minute I see you try to do that with me, I'm going to run away from you like very fast as possible. Lack of support. And when we talk about lack of support, that's another red flag I look out for. I'm talking about finances. Yeah, money. We have to talk about money. If you can't chip in money, then... So when I'm talking about lack of support, I'm talking about finances, I'm talking about emotional support, I'm talking about physical support, like you showing up for me, you know? If you cannot show up for me in whichever way I want you to show up for me, you're a red flag and I should walk away from you. Let me repeat again for those who didn't get it. If you cannot show me support physically, emotionally, financially, I'm walking away from this relationship. Trust me, I'm not even kidding. It's not even funny. And support could be hizo vitu tatu nimesema, hizo aspect tatu, financial, physical and emotional. But on the other end, I'm actually doing it for you. I'm showing up for you financially, I'm showing up for you emotionally, I'm showing up for you physically. You know, if I don't feel this is reciprocated when it comes to my end, usually I retract. And sometimes I might not talk about it to you, but uta notice tu nimeanza kuchange, nimeanza tu kufeel like when it comes to you, I'm showing up for you. Oh babe, Emmanuel, ndo hiyo mimi nimepanda gari coming all the way to see you. Oh babe, I needed to do this and that, you know, do you have some money, do you have like 200 bob? I go an extra mile, even if I don't have, I ask my friends if they can lend me money, and then nakutumia, oh nini na nini, yani anything you ask me to do, I find myself doing it because I'm prioritizing you, because I feel like whatever I'm sharing or I'm having with you is way much stronger, or rather is I'm looking at having a future with you basically. But when it comes to you, nikikwambia unaanza kuitake ni kama it's not serious, or rather I'll just figure it out. Like basically you want me to live figuring things out by myself and you not coming in to help or to support. When you are just among those people, usually ask people, Sautadu. Okay, that's the situation you're in. Sautadu. I find that to be somebody who is toxic, and that's a red flag for me. If you can never go out there for me, I feel like you're not the right person to be with me. And this has really affected me, because let me be very honest. I usually go out of my way to ensure the person I'm trying to see or the person I'm seeing is actually okay. I do that, and I'm not even kidding. Anyone I've dated can tell you that I go an extra mile to ensure I'm able to meet up with them financially, emotionally, and physically. I show up. Even when I don't have, I'll figure it out and show up. I will show up. I will support. But I usually don't get that. I don't get that. Do I expect it? I don't do it expecting a tit for tat thing. But it's just that it's human. When I do something for you, and it's also common sense, I expect you to return a hand basically and be like, oh, say by the way, he does this for me once in a while, he'll do this for me, so I should also go an extra mile to do this for them. You know, I'm going to share a story here. Unajua, there's somebody I've been trying to see. Let me just say that. Somebody I've been trying to see, and kuna chama nilikuwa every Friday we usually check money to pay for this chama. So ikafika Friday, one of the Fridays I didn't have money. Okay, I had foreseen that on Thursday. Unajonga tu kesho ka utakuwa na do, you know, because anyway atuchunangi kwa mti, so you basically know. So it gets to this Thursday, and then I reach out to them and I'm like, oh, so unajua kesho ni chama and sitakuwa na do, and I really need you to come through for me if you can do that for me. And then they proceed to say, okay, we'll see what to do. Kesho ikifika, you sure? But this was not the first time walikuwa naniangusha. I've done it before. Just that tunasema, let me just ask them again, you know? Let me just see if we can actually come to me. So ikafika yo Friday na nikatumwa message nikaambia, oh, by the way I was planning to come through for you, I don't think I can be able to, because there's this other friend of mine ameshikwa, sijui alifight na bibi yake jana, and then ameshikwa and they needed money from me, and I was just telling you, would you be okay if not even would you be okay, I wanted to help. Alisema nilikuwa nataka kumsaidia, I wanted to help him, so yeah, so sijui utafanya sijui vile utafanya, would you be okay? So me already nikisoma your message, I'm already thinking that you don't want to help me, number one. Number two, if you're going to put me in a position where you're asking me if you should choose them or me, then that means I'm actually an option and I'm not a priority. So I'll give you the okay to go and help the other person, and let me figure it out. Let me ask other people to come through for me. And let me tell you, what I responded to them was, do this, I have this figured out, you just help the other person, I have this figured out. And let me tell you, at that time siku hata nimefigure out hiyo do natoa wapi. I had to send this money on Saturday because I had to sit down and think until eventually I reached out to another friend, and the friend was like, it's okay, sure, let me help you with that. So nikasaidika somebody else who I'm actually not even dating or trying to even date. They came through for me when it came to that. So nikikaa chini nikikumbuka, nilikuwa na kadi chini, I go an extra mile na kopa do na kutumia, na niko na familia yangu, unapata hadi saa zingine brother yangu ako home amefukuzwa do, and I'm taking a whole like 7k or 5k to send you, yenye ningepatia brother yangu arudi shule, wewe nimekupatia. And then when it comes to me, na hii chama ni thou, you can't sacrifice that for me. Honestly, nakushukishia, I'm just like, no, this is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not where I belong. This is not the kind of relationship I want to be in. And then another thing, not showing interest in what matters to you. Yeah, I've seen people, I would rather have dated people, some, and that's why I'm saying I have dated, because we had to part ways, because they had no interest, completely no interest. It's always about them, it's always about them, it's always about them, and it's never about you. And when I realize it's always about you, I will hardly tell you what I'm planning, what I want to do. Like right now, I have so many plans this year, but it's so unfortunate that I've kept them in my heart and I can't share them out with people I am trying to see, because they have no interest. They have complete zero interest in them. Therefore, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do them by my own. Let me just figure things out on my own. You know, I hate it that sometimes you find yourself in a relationship dating, but you can't even share with people or let people know what you're going through or what you're battling or what you want to do. It's sad. It's really sad, because among the things I thought or reasons why you be in a relationship is so that they can be your support system. You can let them know exactly what is happening in your life, and speak to them, even if they will not help you financially. Speak to them, let them know your plans. But this year, I think I'm learning the art of shutting my mouth up, not forcing whatever I want to do on people's throats. Let them just witness that. And once I realize that, also I usually lose interest in what you're doing. I will not ask you what you're doing. I will not bother. And this is how you know I'm losing interest in what you're doing. For example, you tell me, oh, by the way, I'll be going to place ABCD. I'll just be like, yeah, be safe. Just take care of yourself. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. I'm not even interested to know exactly what are you going to do there, because you have also proven to me that you have absolute zero interest in whatever I am doing. So I'm trying to do the same. Another thing is emotional manipulation. When I was starting this episode for today, I've said I'm a sucker for love, and usually when I'm in love, I become vulnerable, and sometimes I become stupid. You know, there's this thing I've put online where people see me as a gangster, especially when you watch my TikTok. I look like much of a gangster, But I'm such a lover boy. I'm a sucker for love. I won't even lie. And it's so easy to manipulate me emotionally. And most of the people I have dated have discovered this or have seen this, and they have used it to make me feel bad or to make me even be more vulnerable to the point where siwezi toka kwa hiyo relationship. Umeona zile shida za kujitakia, because most of these things are usually ni mashida tu za kujitakia, na msee anakuguilt trip design nyingine mpaka unaona tu kila saa you are the one who is always on the mistake. Wetu ndio unakuanga tu na makosa throughout the time, wetu ndio unakuanga tu na makosa. And I've experienced this a lot. Na sahi I'm woke. I love that I've experienced this because now it makes me be able to pick or rather sense those things as they come. Juu unapata msee amefanya makosa mpaka nimeclick because nimekumbuka certain things zenye zimekuwa zikihappen. Unapata msee akiwa na mabeshte zake, it's very okay. Unaget? Anaenda ana hang out na mabeshte zake, anaona hiyo iko sawa. Hadi akikuuliza permission hiyo just like yeah it's cool, ama anakuinform, you're like that's cool, that's okay, that's fine. But when it comes to you doing the same thing and you also inform them, it becomes an issue. And how they use it or how they turn it around, and these are narcissistic behaviors that people usually have. It's actually a narcissistic character that people usually have. So unapata, if you do the same thing, ataku guilt trip nayo to the point unaanza ku feel like, oh my god, why didn't I inform them? Why didn't I let them know? Maybe even something just impromptu happened in your life, or somebody just passed by your house, impromptu, unplanned, and then you inform them, and then it becomes a whole issue, and then they make sure you feel guilt tripped. Una feel ni kama you have betrayed whatever you two have. Like when the same thing happens to them, it's okay, and you should be able to understand. That's another thing. And then number 2, when people, the people you're trying to see if they're in the same situation as you, wanataka wewe uelewe, but when you're in the same situation as them, they choose to not understand you. That is also something I've really battled, and I'm still struggling, but I'm hoping this year, as the year goes on, I'll have emotional intelligence and be able to avoid being manipulated emotionally. Because hiyo kitu manze imeni affect, it's still affecting me. I get easily manipulated emotionally, and I think that's one of my biggest weaknesses. Hadi sasa nikikaa chini nikifikiria na feel too vibaya. And then the fact that somebody will do something and then they say they're sorry, and then you'll forgive them and then overlook, and it's okay, you know. Like there was a time I was complaining about how we are not seeing each other the way it used to happen initially. And then somebody tries to make you feel like, you know, you don't see the sacrifices I make, you don't see the things I do. Then they prove to you the way you're so ungrateful. And then unakaa chini unaanza ku feel like, oh yeah, they've actually done ABCD. When in the real sense, whatever they have done is actually the bare minimum. I remember there's a video I shot on TikTok saying, the times I sit and just ask myself, at what point did I allow myself to get attracted? Which unhealed part of me got attracted to this bare minimum? And you know, some people do things na juu ya, I think sijui kama ni trauma ama ni void fulani wase ukamkufeel in our lives zenye zinafanya tuna feel like they're so important in our lives. Because somebody will just call you in a day and you feel like, oh my god, this was the best thing they ever did. Like, this is such a sacrifice. When in the real sense, they just called you because probably they were even bored. They were bored and decided to call you. But there you are, thinking that, you know, they're doing the most when they're not. Or rather, mse hata labda kwake kumembo, so akamu ama hata ana food. Ana food kwake najua kwako kuna food. Amekam, anasema acha apitie kwako, anapitia, mnakaa, and then because anajua utapika, utampikia and stuff like that. And then I save on their cost or whatever. Maybe they're just bored, and you think that is the most they're doing in that relationship. So using guilt trips, silent treatment, or emotional outbursts to control you. I've seen that, I've experienced that. Making you feel like everything is your fault. Somebody constantly making you feel like everything is always your fault. And me na feel nikianza ku complain a lot, and all the time I'm complaining again, it's my fault, even when it's your fault. It's that time I should wrap up and leave. It's that should tell you that it is about time for you to leave that relationship. Another one is neglecting boundaries. Another red flag is neglecting boundaries. What am I talking about here? Ignoring your boundaries, whether physical, emotional, or social. Even as a person or even as a couple, kila mse ako na boundaries. And for me, my boundaries are usually my phone. Yeah, stay away from my phone. If you can, please, not even if you can, like, this is my phone, man. This is my personal, this is my friend. I don't have friends, and therefore this phone is my friend. And there are moments, or rather there's so much on my phone that's why it's called a mobile phone, I think. And that's why it's called a personal gadget, because it's your phone. So if you decide to take my phone and do whatever you feel like you want to do, now feel come up with you're overstepping. So even though we are a couple, we are together, you should learn to stay on your lane. Like, wachana tu na simu yangu, because honestly kuna watu wengine unapata naongea nao online. I'm not even having a thing with them, but there are certain conversations I'm having with them that you're not even supposed to know about, because we are not talking about you. The thing is, in those conversations we are not talking about you. We're talking about certain things that are probably affecting us, or they're giving me their story, they're sharing with me what they're going through. And here you are, you want to be nosy, you want to go through my phone. Honestly speaking, that never sits well with me. So you need to learn to keep boundaries. Pressuring you into situations you're uncomfortable with. Yeah, I've also found myself in situations where the person I'm seeing is trying to put me in situations that I'm not supposed to be into. I remember there was a time, guy. Yeah, oh my god. Anyway, patie chai jam. Yeah, just know there are situations, there are moments where I found myself kwa vitu zenye sifai kukua ndani, being dragged in things I'm not even supposed to be into. That has happened a lot of times. Na vile nimewambia, I'm easily emotionally manipulated, and I find myself still doing that. Hadi hata niliacha kuongelea relationship, because Karanja anashinda akiniambia just shut up. Don't even say anything. Just shut up. At this point, nanyamazanga tu, because niko like, I've allowed it. The problem is you've allowed it, and things don't get wrong. Things start wrong. So how they started, and I put up with them, I'll have to still put up with them. Yeah. Jomto alisema, if you decide to go the earthly way, you have to follow the rules of the earthly way to the end. If you decide to go the godly way, you have to follow the rules of the godly way to the end. So kama msingi wa kitu ilianza ikiwa mbaya, lazima tuiendelee hivyo up to the end. So nafaa kujiulize, am I ready to keep up with this all the way to the end? Ama I should just let it go. The problem again we usually have within ourselves is we keep asking ourselves, we keep being afraid of starting over again. And sometimes you should just start over again. If you sit down to think, you should just start over again. Don't overthink. Don't overthink. The problem is we overthink a lot of stuff. Don't overthink. If you have to start over, find somebody else and start over again. Me, I would say, so far zile vitu nime-highlight, zile vitu nime-mention, if you've seen them in the relationship you're in, just walk out. Honestly, just walk out. Just walk out. Another one, inconsistent effort. Only being present or affectionate when it benefits them. Making promises they don't keep or being unreliable. Hapo kwa promises pia mimi saa zingine I make promises that I don't keep. So pia mimi ni red flag. But somebody said we are all red flags. We are all walking red flags. The things I consider your red flags are, I might also be a red flag to somebody else. But here hapa, only being present or affectionate when it benefits them, I agree. Unapata tu mse ako na wewe ile time and I feel like I'm going to gain something in this. So let's push it, babe. Let's push it. Because they know at the end of the day, they will benefit. And in most cases, unapatanga, yeye ndiye ana benefit na wewe au benefit anything. Yeah, and I benefit too. I've done things that I didn't benefit, not even a coin, bro. Na bado niko hapo. Yeah, and I benefit na wewe benefit. Instead, kwanza wewe hata heshima yako inaharibika. Unapata hizo vitu zenye mnafanya, wewe au benefit, yana benefit, jina yako iko huko na wewe ndio unajulikana, na wende unakuwa affected. But anyway, sijui shida yetu inakuanga nini. Sijui Mungu tu mwenyewe ndiye anafaa ashuke tu atuambie what we need to do. Excessive criticism. You never see anything good in me. You're always criticizing. I moved into this house. You're like, oh, this house, blah, blah, blah. You should. Oh my God. You never see anything good. Like, where uko tu na excessive criticism. Kama ni podcast, you have a comment which is a negative comment. If it is my house, you have a negative comment about it. If it is my job, you have a negative comment about it. Kila kitu tu, like, uko na excessive criticism. And how you bring it out, you don't even care about how I feel. You don't give it with love. You say it and then you're like, oh yeah, me, I say things the way. No, sometimes you don't have to say things the way they are. Okay, najua, but you don't really need to say things the way they are, especially to someone you date. Because I think at this point you really understand them and you know exactly what they like and how they like it done, or rather how they would love it delivered. And therefore, just have some emotional intelligence and be sensitive. The point, actually, the word should here be sensitive about how you express yourself when it comes to criticizing whatever they are doing. So you come here, you're like, oh, so this is the table you bought. No, I don't like it. It's terrible. It's bad. No, relax. This is what I like. This is my choice. I love you, but this is my choice. Oh, the only thing I love about this house is your corridor. The rest, I don't like it. It's okay, but do you actually even help me pay rent? Let's start from there. How much do you send me in a month to pay for my rent? How much do you send? Not even a shilling. Not even one day I've ever asked you and told you I'm stuck, I want you to come through for me. So sometimes you don't have to give excess criticism, especially where you don't contribute. And if kila mtu, by the way, where you don't contribute, auchangi chochote, don't even give an opinion. Shut your mouth. Mahali unajua uchangi chochote, si pesa, si whatever, keep your opinion. Keep your mouth shut. Focus on your life. Remember one day I told Elsa, focus on your oils. Focus on your oils, Elsa. So focus on your life. Focus on your life. Focus on the things you're doing together. The things I'm doing alone that you don't contribute, don't even open your mouth. Shut your mouth. Aggressive or abusive. I've not experienced this much, aggression or abuse. Usually I'm the one who's aggressive in most of my relationships, and if someone is excessively aggressive, then I would ask you to leave that relationship. Yeah, or abusive. But I've actually dated someone who was very abusive. They kept comparing me to their niece. Oh, unafikiria kama my niece. Oh, my niece even thinks better than you. Oh my God. Good. Funny thing, that person, my ex, is going to watch this video, and yes, Jua alisubscribe kwa hii channel. Jua na keep up na my life, then the like on abuse more. Anyway, let me not even say what they said, but aliniambia actually comment alimake about the podcast, alisema the only person who has brains in that whole podcast is that lady Brandy. Now the only person who has brains in that whole podcast is Brandy. The rest of you, imagine I'll include Adith Oguo. At me and Togo and all those other men that we have hosted on this podcast are just all we are all stupid. Any form of physical, verbal or emotional abuse, threatening behavior or intimidating you during disagreements. Yeah, huyo ex mmoja ndio nilikuwa naende alikuanga na intimidating, but I understand. And it's okay. Imagine mtu anakutusi mpaka uko like wow, umbwa mimi, kumbavu zangu. Alikuwa ananitusi. Alikuwa ananitusi. Mimi hata walk out of that relationship, nikaambia bwana. Lack of accountability, that's also another red flag. Like, people don't want to take accountability. They want to shift blame. And like I've said, they want to act victim and shift blame to you. Kama ungeni call, or like mse anaamka asubuhi, the whole day mse haja kucall and you're complaining about it, and you're like, where's ungeni call? I mean, accept that, yes babe, I didn't call you, that was wrong of me, I should have called you, I should have made this, I should have said this, I know I didn't do that, I should have done it. But ukianza excuses, kulinyesha, unajua, oh sijui nini, like you're giving excuses, a million excuses for things that you could have done and saved us all this. People fail to take accountability of their actions. And I remember there was a video I did yesterday, you can delete, by the way, guys. I did a video on TikTok, ikapata 100 views karanga. In 2 hours it was still at 100 views. I was like, what the hell? Delete, you can delete your video. I was taking accountability. So your video nilikuwa nasema people need to stand up and take accountability. This behavior of blaming the devil and sometimes God. Oh, God knew I'd lose the job. God knew better things are coming. Sometimes you lost the job because you are not showing up. Kama leo mimi sijaenda kazi, honestly. Sasa nikifutwa. Will I say, oh, na sijaenda, nimekaa kwa nyumba ni shit. Honestly. But we tend to shift the blame, and some of these people usually, watu wenye, they are never on the wrong. They will never accept they are on the wrong. And funny thing is, these people even brag about it, that oh, me I can never be, siwezi shindwa kwa argument. I've updated someone like that, mwenye anasema mi siwezi shindwa kwa argument, mi lazima nishinde hiyo argument, lazima siki nini blah 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 blah. And then but what you fail to understand is the minute you never take accountability of anything, you're always the victim. It gets to a point where somebody anafeel ni kama amechoka. Like personally, I'll get tired, where if all the time you shift the blame, and especially if you shift the blame from you to always me, I feel like no, like I'm not making you happy. And the minute I start telling myself that by the way, I'm not even making this person happy, I'm hurting them more than I'm making them happy, it's about time to leave that relationship. So somebody who doesn't take accountability of their actions, I don't think that's somebody I want to date or I want to be with. No, I don't think that's someone I want to be with. So blaming others for their actions or failures. Another one, which is unfortunately one of my last red flag, is rushing the relationship. Yeah. You meet today and then you want to quickly get into a relationship. You want us to be all lovey-dovey, easy come, easy go. So if they're going to, I think mtu mwenye na crush into a relationship, that is somebody who's trying to cover up some things. Antaka mwingie kwa relationship before you study who they are, what they do, whatever, the kind of a person they are. Because why are you rushing me into this? Why do you really want us to be in a relationship? That should be a red flag. Mtu akianza kukukimbisha mbio anataka tu uingie kwa relationship, muanze kudate very fast. That is somebody who is ready to commit, pushing for commitment or major life decisions too quickly. That is not somebody you should be with, because they're not even giving it a thought. They don't even want to give themselves room to understand who you are. You as a person, what you do, what you like, nini. Sometimes you need to give people space and time to learn you, to understand you, and see if you're really compatible with them. But if you want to be that person who is, I see you today, I know, my heart knows what it wants. When I see you just like this, I already know it's you I want to be with. Come on, bullshit. Such relationships never go anywhere. Just like the other day I also said, there are certain relationships then watu wakiapprove, when the mass says, hey, your relationship ni poa, you guys are compatible, look at around. Relationships that people approve, they never go anywhere. Am I lying? Ignoring the need for a natural progression in building trust and intimacy. I also feel like I've fallen victim of that. Victim or a suspect. Opposite of a victim is a suspect, right? Yeah, I've also been a suspect. I'm actually a suspect of that. I think initially I used to rush into relationships. Juu ningepatana tu na msee, I feel their vibe. Niko like, oh my God, this is the right person. This is the right person I want to be with. Ni yeye. And sometimes hata sijui hiyo nilikuwa tu last. Unapatana tu na msee, mnadishiana, mnakulana, una feel oh my God, this is the right one. This is the right one. Alafu una end up into that relationship. 2 weeks later you're like, no, they're not who I thought they were. Yeah. So how many people are you going to call the right one? Because every person you'll meet will always feel like it's the right one. Hey, lakini hii mapenzi ya kia Mungu, sijui tutafanyaje. I don't know what kind of relationships you look at for you. I don't know what kind of red flags you look at for in a relationship. Or are you that person who overlooks all the red flags that happen in your relationship? You look at them as pink, as yellow, as green, as I don't know what, Because red flags hukua, and they usually there from day one. red flags you qua from day one. It's just that we overlook and we assume that. Sorry for that. I'm trying to see because I posted the question late. Vote. I didn't put it as a question. Niliweka kama vote. Put it as 0 votes. So what one I like? Okay, sorry guys. I was supposed to put it as a question on my Instagram, but niliweka kama poll. Yeah, yes or no. So now I'm trying to scroll. I'm like at 0 votes, and people have viewed. Oh my god! I think that happens also. So next time I'll try put it up as early as possible so that you're able to interact with me and share with me what you think about what we'll be discussing next. Now, those were my red flags, and the only thing I will say is red flags are always there. Red flags are always there. They will always be there. They're never pink, they're never blue, they're never yellow, they're never green, they're always red. Red like this. Don't let a good dick confuse you and think that you're in a perfect relationship. Don't let good sex be the highlight of your relationship. Think about yourself, make yourself aware, love yourself enough. Na mimi nasemanga ukianza tu kufika ile point yenye umeanza ku lose yourself, you're not thinking about yourself, you're constantly thinking about your partner. How you'll make them happy, how you'll make them think, or how you'll make them trust you and stuff like that, and you forget about working on yourself. That's not the right relationship for you. I think the right relationship for anyone is the kind of relationship where you continue with your life to do what you do and it pleases them without you having to think about exactly what you need to do to please them. Like mimi nikiamka venye tu nakaa nikipiga selfie nini ama venye natengeneza hao inawafurahisha. Like my normal day routine inawabamba. That's then the right relationship. But if I have to change and try to do things that will make you happy, then I don't think that's the right relationship. Because for how long will you keep doing things that will make me happy? What about moments? Because that means you're losing yourself to focus more on them and not you. And in such kind of relationships where you are the only one trying to focus on making them happy, they don't do the same. They don't do in return what you're actually doing. They never do the exact thing you're doing to make you happy as well. And unajipoteza, you're losing yourself, you're losing your value, you're losing you as a person, you'll not focus on yourself. Mi usema, ka unajipenda is when you can be able to love somebody else. But kama unajipata unapenda somebody else, then that means you love somebody else to the point you're forgetting yourself, then you don't love yourself. Learn to prioritize to choosing yourself all the time. Red flags are there. Be woke, stay woke. Watu wanagongeana, watu wanagongewa, and don't be afraid to start over again. Don't be afraid to start asking people, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What do you like as a person? Always do that. Don't skip the stages or the procedures of a relationship. Start by dating people. Start by getting to know people. Don't be quick to move into people's houses to live with them. Don't be quick to say I love you. Don't always be the first person who is always out there telling people I love you, calling people babe. Address people by their name. Give it time. If it is to work, it will work. Again, don't be rigid. You deserve love. We all crave companionship. Loneliness is real. Because you look out for money, you get the money, and then you realize that, oh my God, money cannot give you company. So at some point, you'll crave companionship. And if you do, just stay woke, be out there, watch out for what is not working for you or what will not work for you. And top of it all, love yourself. Well, I hope you have resonated to some of the red flags I have experienced. If you have experienced the same and you're still in that relationship, this is a wake-up call for you to walk out. I say what I said. If you have experienced any of those 13 red flags I've mentioned, it's about time you walk out of that relationship. It has been your boy, the Melanin King. If you've not subscribed, kindly press the subscribe button. And see you again next Wednesday, same time. Remember, we have our social media accounts on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok. Live and Filtered Podcast. You should make sure to follow. And also my personal accounts. I go by the name The Melanin King. And until next time, your boy says goodbye. See you in the next one.